Orin, that you?
Yes. There. And here. I was expecting Ikora's tone.
Right, I'm patching her in. Look, we left off on the wrong foot. And I know right before you run off with the Guardian to stomp Vex into dust ain't the best time. But I'm sick of counting seconds not taken for words that should have been said. Someday soon I'd like to clear the air. Just watch your back out there. House's Archon's still at large. There's trouble brewing, and I think you're in the middle of it.
Where we need to be. I think the Vex seek the Nine, through a trace of their influence. Their operation is coiled wires, but with the Guardian, we can cut through. When they pushed out the house, they claimed a capsule of quantum threads. If we want to know why we were brought here, we need it.
Explain.
They're playing you. You can cut off the connection right now.
Look who's jealous. Feeling fleshy? Do you miss being taller than your tower?
It wasn't worth bear traps.
Oh dear, it only speaks nonsense. Primitive synapses, so easily breakable. Can you even remember which one I am?
I want to help, but I need to know who you are first.
Child of 3, who swam in their lakes, sweat on their plains, you have always known me.
The sun?
When we woke, we were tied to the planets within the Sapience system. We are bound to our gravity wells. The Inner 9 understand this arrangement, but the Outer 9 see the subtext. Matter is prison, and so we are divided into factions.
You're a tad late for this skirmish. Or early. Either way, you must have seen the Vex going about their deterministic routines by now. They're dug in, and trying to assimilate everything around them. They mean to turn a sphere to a circle here, so to speak. We have an advantage, in that the Vex who are exposed to dark matter find themselves caught in a thick, yellow confusion. The presence of the Nine here resists Vex probing with dense air, but it's thinning. We need to address this. I haven't been able to get close enough for a detailed assessment, but you can.
The dampening field signal is coming from this direction, but it looks like there's a branching point.
Fire team, I'll be overseeing this operation. I want to stay focused and on task.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Nothing has changed. No matter who I was, I'm still Ikora Rey. Orin, status.
The Vex are watching this place. Rifles strung up in the cliffs. We need to break pottery. Tear it down.
Orin's right. Perimeter scans show Vex signatures, and they've converted the old HCO networks into a sort of security lattice.
She's also right about tearing it down. Keep your focus on the present and find a way through. Without active surveillance, you'll be able to move through the surrounding canyons without tripping Vex security every 10 paces. Breaking the Vex's security lattice offline revealed something, Guardian. There's a massive dampening field that extends to the area we know 3 is behind. It's a barrier to entry, but from these readings, that isn't its purpose. Rather, it's stopping anything from getting out.
I'm seeing that too. It's the same type of quarantine protocol the Vex use to close off damaged portions of their network.
They must want to prevent the singularity expanding too. But we'll need to remove it to get to 3.
I remember something else now. A hooked request. There's a message I'm to remember here. Oh, it feels like a decompression, like plugged ears. What I mean is the 9 are holding something back from me. I think I know. I remember. Or will. I want to help.
I think we can get through here now. The signal's getting stronger, and it looks like I was wrong before. The dampening broadcast isn't emitting from 1 point, it's 3. Wait, there's something else. There's an old colonial research terminal still running from when the Ionians landed here. I didn't notice it until we were close, but it looks like the Vex are trying to access it.
Interesting. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Bring down the dampening broadcast, and in the chaos, we'll crush their incursion into the old colony systems.
Your plan is cracked knuckles. I like it. I'm glad we're taking the direct route. Without you, Guardian, my steps would be mouse squeaks in the floorboard. I've always been more gauntlets and thunder.
We don't have time to be anything but gate crashers. It's the Guardian's forte anyway. If you're looking for quiet, Orin, come back to the city with us when this is over. Rebuild your life in your own hands.
The city sounds like bitter medicine. We'll see. Is buzzing.
That is not a tower. The broadcasts are coming from those giant minotaurs. Stay low, Guardian. Look, another concentration of dark matter. Might help keep us out of harm's way. I'm detecting shield projectors nearby, but it's protected by a security lens. One step at a time, Guardian. This should help us get to the security lens.
Check their shields. The interference is dying down.
Let the Pine Lance splinter, Guardian! Charge! Vision of you, Guardian. A timely message. A globe spins below you, the planets above. An event into the encoded horizon. I see it. You. The message as a weapon. The weapon is the message. Fate forged. 9 hammer strikes ring. Scattered sparks. Cupped in hands. A weapon. Buried in the coals of the forge. I see a molten purity. Waiting to read the hammer strikes and direct the shock. No volition in given roles. Smoke. It's gone. Damn. Damn! I could almost see it!
You did great, Orin. Guardian. Seems like the 9 have their eyes on you, too.
Establishing uplink. Wait. These are detailed records of the collapse.
They catalogue the 9's presence as much as the collapse. The Vex study seeds planted in the past to understand how the 9 wove plots around the paracausal.
This data is a playbook for emulating the 9. Orin, do they know we would stop the Vex here?
Of course. They know that we need to move the Vex aside to reach the singularity. 3. Agency is a quantum indeterminate. Known hope. I remember they spoke like that.
I'm glad your head's clearing up. I quantum indeterminate that soon you'll be able to make more sense of this than I can.
Only the quarantine is between us and our answers. I can hear victory screaming like fire.
Lodi. The Guardian found an archive of analytical data the Ionians had recorded during the collapse. I think you deserve to see it.
Really? Miss Ray, that's incredible. Anything, and I mean anything that fills in the gaps between then and now would be Mighty appreciated.
I think we're dealing with the inner orbits. Dangling an answer from a string is as clear as they get. Sun through Mars. The Nine are tethered by sentience and Sol's celestial bodies. They have a lot of time to bicker. The inner want to talk, the outer less so. It's an impasse.
So we're just swept up in the tides of a grand cosmic plan?
No. Placed. With intention. I, to mentor the new emissary. Drifter's been used for years. The Guardian, something yet to be. And you, Ikora, arranged to hear the message you were promised.
I don't plan on being a sacrificial lamb for the Nine. Our destiny isn't up to some unknowable architect. It's ours.
Scans are picking up a lot of moving radiolaria beneath the surface. Are they trying to assimilate Kepler?
We can't allow a Vex conversion to happen. Our own investigation aside, the Ionians call this place home.
We won't save them from the singularity just to lose them to the Vex. Crush the eye of the needle and the thread will choke.
The Vex here aren't a splinter faction. The Conductor is leading them.
Oh, Sundaresh. Her motives smack of unfinished business and desperation.
If she's here in person, it can't be good. Last we saw her, we learned how cruel she could be, even to her loved ones.
Guardian, that machine looks like another time-lost invitation. Similar to the one that empowered you before.
If the Nine want to give you power, who are we to refuse?
Now that's something. I can see you now. When you're all spherical like that, it's almost like a star in the sky. We're connected through a chain of dark matter. It's everything.
If it's a chain linking to your enemies, use it to pull them apart.
A little violent, but if the situation calls for it.
That Vex mind was controlling the flow of radiolaria. Without it, their assimilation of Kepler will stall.
I know Maya Sundaresh and her schism. This shield was an anti-paracausal shell. It is a spark of the Nine, derived from their power. I recognize its shallow anxiety. Kepler harbors their influence.
You aren't suggesting they're helping each other? The Conductor and the Nine?
No. This place has always been touched by the Nine. The Vex exploit it somehow. I can put this together, Ikora. I promise.
I thought most Vex malfunctioned when they were exposed to dark matter. But that new shielding incorporated it.
The Nine don't dabble in coincidence, and everything here is lining up too well. If the Vex are stealing power, the Nine are at least allowing it.
I'd rather not think of the implications of that.
You've lived too long to carbonate in guesses. This time was planned, but not for the Vex. I remember that much.
You got me, 3. I'm paying attention now. I hate these even more.
I agree. This part always makes my shell itch. I actually don't feel you when we're in one of these Guardian. Let's move quick.
Focus, Ray. Here and now. You're entering the Vex exclusion zone, Guardian. Find how they're co-opting the Nine's power and put a stop to it.
Deep scans are picking up dark matter and deep mantle drilling. This place looks like a quarry geared towards mining out the anomaly's power.
So they're using 3 on the other side to strengthen their shields? We can't remove all the dark matter, but we can neutralize the threat long enough to push deeper into the canyons. I want this refinery in flames, Guardian. Orin, how does dark matter relate to the Nine? My understanding is it's non-reflective and has odd qualities, but is still natural.
The Nine are, in simple terms, made of dark matter. It tangles with enough mass, like they do.
So the Vex are tapping dark matter from the anomaly, and that matter is tangled with the Nine's power? That must be what the Vex are keeping contained. Some live wire that lets them tap into whatever the Nine were doing and reprogram it.
You're carrying a lot of energy. Probably enough to shatter that conflux pylon. That should lower the barrier and let us out.
You are here. This is where they refine their power.
Wait, I'm picking up Elixir signatures. The House of Exile just ignited a glimmer drill.
One enemy force stealing the Nine's power is enough. Shut down their operation. Then we deal with the Vex.
That's the last of the exiles. Now for the Vex. Guardian, you're looking for a series of conversion engines tied to conflux pylons.
Like I said, Guardian. Leave it in flames.
That's the last converter. Refiner. Whatever. The Vex can't convert any more dark matter. Wait. Vex mine incoming!
The Overseer. who holds Hourglass Sands.
I bet they break just the same.
The Titan in me is blushing.
Shielded. Our weapons won't work.
You'll need the Nine's power to punch through.
Shielded. Our weapons won't work.
You'll need the Nine's power to punch through.
Why would the Vex need the Nine for shielding? I've seen a Minotaur phase through time to dodge an attack.
Against something paracausal, that phasing is a coin flip. The fourth dimension doesn't have that hindrance.
Knowing the Nine can subvert our agency is bad enough. But you're saying they can predict futures the Vex can't?
The Vex find a future that suits them. The Nine engineer one through. Intermediaries and pressure.
Surely they follow some rules.
Ikora, I know what it feels like to have your autonomy brushed aside. That woman is dead, and Lodi worked hard to protect her memory. But in the eyes of the Nine, you exist simultaneously. A constant.
Stop, Orin. These borders matter. I know who I am. Maya's Vex co-opting Nine energy is a bad sign. Even if you don't think they're working together.
I remember her, but her transformation is a blind spot. What happened that turned her into the Conductor?
A fragment of paracausal power touched down on Nessus, and one of her simulations rose out of the Vex net and claimed it. Originally, she was looking for her wife, Chioma, but the Vex she co-opted began to change, to individualize.
She will not find her wife here, but she will find a being who knows.
Guardian, I've got confirmed intel. The Vex mine maintaining the quarantine has the last strangelet we need to reach 3.
My final tethers to the Nine are snapping. I feel like a live wire fraying. The charge is still there, sparking at the ends.
You won't miss that power? The station? It's a lot to walk from.
The Nine's power, the light, it all came from outside myself. I'm looking forward to finding what's left when that all fades away.
I'm glad to hear you say that and that you're back with us. All the power in the world isn't worth having none over yourself.
That's strange. Some of the radiolaria in the Vex down here is reading as being from, well, not our timeline. They're trying to wall off our path. We'll have to push through some familiar territory to reach the mine maintaining the dampening field.
If the Guardian dismantles it, we'll have enough Strangelet capsules to safely reach the Singularity.
And 3's on the other side with our message. One step closer to an answer. One last leap of faith. If Maya can already manipulate time, why all this friction?
Unlike the Nine, they're bound by their dimension. Chronal flow applies to all. Time moves forward, never backward. I want answers too, Ikora. We're simultaneous.
Looks like we're about to hit resistance. Get ready.
Resistance. You have reached an end, little ghost. Seeking to avert a catastrophe after the fact. prepare yourself, Daw, from battle before it ever cuts deep enough to draw blood. But you will try.
It's an ambush, Guardian. Take cover. They're trying to lock us in. Clear a path and let's look for a way to disable those barriers.
Message was for me, Guardian, not you.
The Nine keeps stringing us along. Do they always get the future they determine?
Time is chord notation, the known possible scale of everything. But if the tone is set, why scheme against fate? Still, the Nine try, don't they?
Chords have variance to a degree. Tiny alterations in a range.
You're catching on. The Titan in me misses helping people. The city might do me some good.
I'm glad to hear you consider it. You can help us retake Seoul. Start small. Maybe Chicago. Heavy Vex presence ahead. They're trading fire with an exile raiding party.
But thankfully, no giant minotaurs this time.
The Archon must be using us as a distraction to breach the Vex quarantine.
Too bad they crossed paths with you, Guardian.
Guardian, destroying that break deactivated a nearby exile signal. I think they had sealed off one of these buildings.
this a door in waiting? A bridge across space.
You know, there's remnants of Elixir technological signatures in the assimilated architecture here. The house must have been right on top of the anomaly before the Vex pushed them out.
The Archon's been trying to get back in ever since. It makes me think they'll make a push once we bring down the dampening field.
We'll need to be ready. But right now, we kill the noise. Kill the noise and hear our answers. There's static. A hook? I haven't felt this since I was emissary. One of the 9 want to speak.
Quitter. Is that you, Buttercup? Release me from those filthy, fleshy hands.
No. My hand resigned a broken contract.
Orin, what's happening?
An unthinkable glimpse. An order. Drawing pinpoint aversion.
No, too cryptic, Quitter. You want to know how we saved you? Your big ball never tell you that. You are flimsy. For me to stay and burn a while, I'll need the one with the fetching fermions.
Ugh! Gunsmoke, stop! Speak to me, not through me. It's my will. Mine.
Quitting didn't take fully?
It did. It's me, I'm me. Those tethers I mentioned still stick to my skin.
If Maya really thought she was inevitable, she wouldn't be trying to stop us. Push through.
Everything's being scrambled by a Vex disruption signal. Follow the cabling and we should find the source. This route will take us straight to the mine, creating the dampening field. Almost there.
You never tire of learning the same lessons. Your response is not necessary. This is not a conversation. You're only meant to listen. How readily you obey fate. A leader without agency. A discarded puppet wrapped in her wires. And the weapon. Guardian, the Nine flatter you and themselves.
I will drag the past to us if I must. That's her plan, isn't it? She knows the Nine can do things the Vex can't.
Precipitous moments. Her tone will change soon.
Yes, it will.
Nine crowding the corners of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep and she feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
The mine's defenses are linked to a series of shielded confluxes. I bet we can take it out with this. Guardian. Bring them down. That should be the final Strangelet capsule. We did it. The quarantine field is failing.
We just detected a shockwave from the Singularity.
My connection is still tethered. Ikora, I'm letting 9 in. Talk to me to talk to them.
We have questions.
Commander, answers later. Bask. Perihelion around my maypole. But I do have a message for the weapon-to-be. Guardian, we knew salt water would evaporate. Missiles aping at solar flares would collide. Humanity was destined to burn. 3 and I, well, we looked at the Valley of Unknown Space. We saw our nature would nurture the conditions for uppercase light. Your resurrection was enabled by our hand for this purpose. Your mind will reach the beyond and know the way. For this you were positioned, set into orbit. This and 3's message to come. Always loved warming your armor, Sunshine.
The well is dry. I have no more answers. I'm sorry.
Wait, so the 9 are saying they planned for me to raise the Guardian?
We are not pawns. We determine our choices, not them. Let's get to the Altar of Relativity and get answers from 3 ourselves.
Guardian, listen. I've been churning around why we're all here. Our roles. You and I, Cora, like spice, draw a line of warmth forward. But Lodi, he speaks and fog leaves his mouth. Focus. Whatever promise was given to Lodi was a half-truth, preying on vulnerability. He calls for direction through red static. I doubt he even knows where his line leads, or what the Nine would do to him. He can't. If I didn't. He can't understand what he'll become. It's an impossible concept. But maybe if he did understand, he'd offer less friction. Maybe he'd be less cagey with us. I have an idea, but I'll need your firepower. Let's remove Lodi's blindfold. Hopefully, it'll be clarifying for us both.
There is a truth buried in Lodi. I brushed it away like sand. When it stands, a tower above him, the choice is no longer a singular one, but fractal. You'll take this little mirage and make reality with density and silica, and your light. Gather it.
Silica. Sounds like we're missing some Vex ingredients combined with your light.
Through electrostatic fog, we will ask him.
Isn't that a little forward?
Linearity appeals to me right now.
Hello? Am I coming through all right?
Lodi, hello. Orin and I had a question for you.
Do you taste the iron as they impart their charge? Is the flavor oxidized or smooth?
You taste iron too? No, oxidized, certainly. I've been noting the changes in alkaline flavor by hour. You absolutely need to tell me more about that.
It is an after effect of your possession. Their voice leaves a taste in your throat. Are you going to tell us why you are here? The choice must be yours, as it was mine.
My organization received a signal and picked up. No one made a deal with anyone.
Not yet. They know a man only swallows thorns when he's starved.
I get it. Under all that, you take me as some poor rube, hoodwinked and knuckled under authority. You're wrong about me. Now, I get the feeling you're speaking from experience, and you think you know what you think you know. With all due respect, I ain't you.
Don't take it personally.
I know Orin is abrasive sometimes, but please, she's trying to help, and we're almost ready.
I forwarded your ghost a frequency. Set a beacon. Coordinates to follow.
But I felt a power there, too. If what you're showing me brings me any closer to that connection, well, I have to know more. Lay it on me.
I placed a version of myself behind a window to hide my reflection.
Lead the way.
Focus.
What in the almighty heavens is this?
This is what I wanted to show you. A vessel. An avatar of power who was and is Orin.
You're saying the people you used to work for, they'd do this to me if I let them?
They will offer control over physics, motion through time, power without limit, to magnify you past what this body can muster.
What makes you walk away from that kind of gift?
It's not a gift. It's a trade. The strength you gain and the reasons you use it won't be yours, and you won't care. Your will for power.
But you're you again. You left. You can leave, so Why show me this?
This is a kindness. Because you should know what you're getting into if the Nine are involved. Accepting anything from them is the quickest way to make sure you won't go home. And I don't know how I left. It may not always be possible.
You're saying I might have to turn this down too. Your trade took everything from you, Orin. But they already took everything from me. I see it though. What you're saying? I see it 200 feet tall staring me down. My God.
Guardian, you've got an incoming call.
Do you see how Lodi is being led? A lick line of lashed scars clotting into a chlorine prod. Do you smell it on him? Feel it in his eyes? Stop. 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 I remember the Nine seek your most vulnerable moment, to give yourself freely. They understand when to ask, and when you'll accept. Do you call that a choice? The Nine don't make the rules. They are the rules. As far as they're concerned, volition does not exist. But I know better. It will hurt, but we should tell Lodi. Give him a clearer choice. An emissary is unlike a light bearer. The power doesn't belong to you. Not a gift, like the Traveler's Light. Nor does it exist within, like the darkness. An emissary is an expression of the Nine's will. You wield only what they give you, and only to the end of their wishes. I won't say that Lodi's in danger, but what the Nine might do through him. Proclaiming tongues, dozens. Twisted spoken excretions from timeless blue and violet plasmatic condensation. But which? Which of the Nine? Is it inner or outer orbits? I need to know.
Another one of those time field fluctuations. Were those Vex cleaning the time field up? I wonder what they were trying to hide. Let's get a scan and see what Ophiuchus and Ikora think.
Ghost, Guardian. We took a look at what you sent over, and I think it's incomplete. But it's the next thread I needed. Looks like a Vex cover-up. They were scrubbing information before you arrived, but there's more to be found. Ophiuchus is mapping a scatter plot of signatures that resemble Ghost scan. You take half, I'll take the other half. We'll see if they turn up a clearer picture.
Ikora, the Vex don't normally worry about their plans being discovered. Why cover something up now?
The attempt to conceal Maya's plans is precisely what worries me.
Time doesn't feel stable here to begin with. It must be easier for the Vex to manipulate it.
In small ways, yes. Though I believe they're more limited here overall. This place is governed by rules even the Vex can't bend. Quarantining the Nine and the Singularity with it. Throwing themselves into dark matter. I think they're trying to build a resistance. Or fabricate one. Maybe they're close to an answer.
That's 2 down. Only 2 more signals to go.
We're not alone. Conductor, thank you for joining us.
This is not a damning accusation, Ikora. I am not separating weeds from chaff. I am restoring an arid field to its pinnacle. All we have lost, you and I regained. Think on that. Or stand in the way of the proverbial plow if you must.
Your fingerprints are hard to ignore. Anyone in the way of restoring your new golden age ends up trampled, don't they?
There's something beyond the Conductor's Vex manipulating the time-space around us. If the Vex didn't cause this, they were drawn to it. We've seen how they react to dark matter. Everything points to the Nine, but this place doesn't resemble the unknown space they've utilized in the past. From what I'm seeing, this mystery looks less like a cipher we're meant to decode and more like a panicked scrawl we're struggling to read. This is a crime scene. We're captured in the gravity of this too. But we still chose to come. Timelessness or not, we're here now. And we've changed set futures before.
Ikora's got a lot to look over here, and we've got one more time field to scan. Let's move, Guardian. Guardian, someone's on the line.
Guardian, Ophiuchus has produced an interesting development from the data you sent us. There are particles here, caught in each disturbance, that are suspended as a sort of static image. The Vex don't normally work like this. They rewrite something immaculately, as if it had always been that way. But this is sloppy. Too sloppy for Maya Sundaresh and her collective. Whoever did this wasn't worried about covering their tracks. They intended to be followed, and the Vex are sweeping up behind them. I wonder... We've always suspected the Nine existed in a parallel dimension of sorts. We know they're involved in bringing us here. What if we're on the right track, but facing the wrong direction? It makes sense that the Vex would be hunting after a fourth-dimensional being that can slip across time like they can. Maybe the Nine can accomplish something the Vex can't. For now, that's our best theory.
So it's inescapable. Lodi has been set on the path to become an emissary. But I don't know for which one. I'm responsible for putting that in motion. I can taste the tense link between me and him. Acid and capsaicin. Sting and tingling numb. An offering of recreational poison we withstand. That is their ploy. Arm us with knowledge, balanced with the subtle danger of being overridden. It is a straight line, and our changes don't loop into themselves like theirs. I escaped it only to doom him. The Nine are terrible communicators. They don't understand us any more than animals understand the mirage of a photograph's captured depth. They need an emissary. But I found what was at the end of that path, writhing to form language, with no will beyond theirs. Now I know. He will become it. Unless we divert him.
Guardian, I felt that. You found a piece of me, shed. A layer of past choice was molted here.
Orin, what? Was that you? What happened?
I clawed my way free of my own flesh, peeled back the time scale. It's not the only one. And it smells like memory. There is nothing more familiar than scent.
Orin, would finding more pieces help you?
There's a lash in my eye. Yes, I think it will help me. This was the first. Raw still. I remember those nerves and burning lightning. I did not wish to leave, but it had to be done.
What do you mean you didn't want to leave?
It started as sunrise.
You must have been determined to leave the Nine to endure this. What did they do to you?
Whatever was needed. But this one specific straw, so dry and petty, a murky knife in spine. But the wound still tingles, enough to break my service with splitting suddenness. It was personal, not a regret. A slight... I can taste it on the tip of my tongue. is sterile. Embalming fluid and rubber. Chalk taste. Ooh. My intent to stay shed in dead anger. The Ionians test its petaled peels for a connection to their holy anomaly. They claim I was born here, from a corpse flower molt.
Is that all it takes to stop being an emissary? Damn, I have to murder a sucker to quit my job. It's good to have you out.
That wit of yours doesn't have as much anger behind it, but I don't need your pity by any name. I need focus.
Guardian, I have an incoming transmission. Patching it through.
I have the Ionian Dean here. She sends her greetings. I'll relay your messages to her and translate what I can of her response. Whatever is in there is dangerous, but precious to them. It's been out of reach.
Exiles ahead.
They're picking over her corpse.
I need what they seek. Polluted ribbons and sinew lines to read. I don't mean to be cryptic. This one is mixed with dark matter. I left through a door that was always open, but I didn't leave to be Orin again. I thought I left to bring a message, but there's another reason.
My Glimmer says the Nine let you leave knowing it'd fry your brain. What makes you think they want you delivering a message?
Your Glimmer is worthless. That much I remember. And I know because I am here, so I am needed here.
destruction? You don't need an emissary just for humanity. You need it between yourselves.
Your friend here? With the bad brain? She could not heal this division.
They are manipulating you. Trust my platinum, Lodi. They have already taken everything from you.
Irritant. It is still talking. New emissary. If it isn't too forward, you were made by fate for this task. Your telomeres are as melodic as 3 promised. Such handsome bosons. Symmetries that cut quantum strings. Rotations stopping temporal vibrations. Goodness me.
Oh, thank you.
You live by my cause. Called forth the first protein bestowed lowercase light. Now I beseech you for help.
9. In my time, an emissary was a diplomat. Someone who found common ground. Let me try to be that for you.
Do not offer yourself.
If I can do my part, then that is my responsibility. I know you're trying to help, Orin. But let me be helpful too.
Lodi, listen. You deserve citrus. Please, as painful as it is, the truth is that you can't solve this.
If it's not me and my bosons, it's some other poor bastard. I don't want the 9 abducting somebody even further in the past than I was.
Stop this and save yourself. Move to the tower. Rebuild your life. That's what I'm doing. You can choose who you are. Do not self-immolate.
If I set myself on fire, then no one else has to.
Lodi, no.
Cannon, quitter! Emissary, it must be you. There is no other candidate to pull forward for eons. And you, weapon, you know all too well. Even gods sometimes need a little killing. See you, Sunrise.
One last fragment into the hole. Oh. I can form the silhouettes of memories in my thoughts. Like neon outlines of overlapping events and momentary flashes. Like a downpour of beating rain. It's all out of order. These moments buck against the guide rail of chronology. But if I focus, there is one image. There. The image is clear. Of Gaul, my ghost. Zest and sunny sweetness. I don't know where this was. I just see them facing me. maybe that's where I start. At the horizon. I'm sorry, Guardian. Give me time to bring this mess into order. As things clarify, I'll share them with you. And thank you.
What in the hell does your ghost have to do with this?
I don't know. But I do remember he didn't like you.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. I'm an acquired taste.
Vex incoming.
Gaul. This isn't him, but an idea imprinted on the silica.
You ditched the Nine over a ghost? These little con artists are almost as bad as your last boss.
He tried to warn me about the Nine and you, Wu Ming. Gaul was kind and good, fresh bred. I told him to go to the city, but he died. He was killed when the light was severed. It was petty. They grabbed the network with careless hands and ripped it from the sky just to free me of my bonds. They knew I'd send Gaul home, and so they saw our lights snuffed. Such effort. All for one little ghost. The rest to them is causation. Dismissible aftermath.
Yeah, the Nine need water. They divert a river and kill everything downstream. You know it. I know it. I'm sorry they did it to you, too.
Not all of them. Ikora, Guardian. Drifter and I had something to show you, to better varnish your understanding. Kepler is part of the Oort Cloud, a sea cliff of Sol jutting over the abyss of space. If you want to understand what summoned you, you need to understand dark matter. Find a pool of radiolaria. Drifter will explain first.
I familiarized myself with the most recent studies from the tower. Dark matter is well documented.
Sure. In papers.
Peer-reviewed data is our strongest place of knowledge. Though I imagine, Orin, you have a different angle on the subject.
I've had my eyes on some of these Vex going haywire, and seems like the dark matter of this place is souring the milk, so to say. Once the stuff gets near Vex milk, the Vex become disconnected from the collective, and then go nuts before they slowly die off.
The Vex becoming disconnected due to dark matter influence implies some part of their biology is aware of its presence.
It is, even when limited to 3 dimensions.
Forgive me for only considering 3.
We are dealing with 2 separate problems connected by the 9. Dark matter, which is what they are, and time, which is what they shift. Dark matter can usually only be experienced, not observed. Think of wind, or scent. Invisible, but detectable. Shifts in time, though, are harder to sense. We are drawings on a piece of paper, and without us knowing, that paper is being folded into a crane. We can seek their hands all we want, but we can't fold the paper. It is easy to feel adrift, powerless.
Adrift is a good way to put it. If we can see the unseeable here, maybe we'll see what shaped our path, too. We're facing this together, Orin. Guardian, there's a growth in the Ionian settlement that the plant life is responding to. This interaction is arresting.
Cattleya Rex. Beautiful.
We'll have to send additional researchers for further study of the interaction between transdimensional matter and material flora.
Once I can wrangle my proprioception out of the 6th dimension and stop my skin from shifting squares on the periodic table, maybe I'll write you a paper on it.
Dark matter doesn't explain the time-lost artifacts we've seen.
It does, in a way. The Nine exist outside of time. When one intervenes in our dimension, it can cause tears in space-time, pull things through. A hole punch in our paper crane.
You have a talent for explaining complex concepts. Have you thought about how you could share what you've learned?
No. I have not been able to cloud through what is next for me.
Knowledge decays if it is not shared, as the Ionians say. What do you miss most, Orin, now that you're not the emissary?
My media file collection. I put so much thought into curating it before all of this. I loved Magpie. Maybe I still do.
Lodi mentioned a collection of pressed music recordings he left behind. I bet he'd enjoy someone guiding him through a few hundred years of what he missed. The time-lost objects we've seen, all of them are obviously from the past. We haven't seen anything yet that appears to be from the future. Orin, can the Nine only pull objects forward in time?
Only forward, never backward. When I was emissary, I knew this truth as I knew my own pulse. The rule of chronal flow is the Nine's oldest, and their cruelest. The Nine on the other side of the altar is connected to the Singularity, but they aren't one and the same. I don't see why they would seek to create a black hole, but their goals are different from ours. We have no sway over them.
Can you blame me for wanting to try?
Of course not. We've both been fortunate to learn about the world from the safety of the tower, and to learn about it from underneath our skin.
Then share that knowledge. There's a place and a future for you, Orin. Teach humanity what we cannot learn from study.
A future? I would like that. Guardian, I think I've made a mistake. Lodi and I were talking. Now that conversation reeks of sulfur.
That sounds unpleasant.
I should have noticed it sooner, before the conversation spoiled into argument. But I didn't. I pushed him, and he stormed off into the hills. I tracked him to here and set a beacon to signal him, but he hasn't responded. Find him.
Send us his last known heading. We'll find him. Orin, what exactly were you two arguing about?
The past, what might be, and the cliff of what he is becoming. He prefers to look behind instead of what is in front of him. He values service over freedom. I've already made that mistake for him.
He's going through a lot. Maybe we can approach him with a little more tact.
Probably. I've picked up some prickly communication habits from my last job.
Orin, we're here, but I don't see Lodi.
Orin sent you after me. It's nice to see people get worried when you disappear. I'm not actually going anywhere. I needed to look up at the stars and clear my head, but then the Vex turned up.
Anything we can help with?
Talk this out with me. Orin keeps telling me that I can't go back home. That if I join 3, I'll lose myself. I don't know if I believe that. That who we are before doesn't matter. If it did, 3 could have picked anyone. But it was me.
I understand. Sometimes I feel that way about the Traveler. It has a purpose beyond me. But it chose me. And I chose the Guardian. The choice matters. That it was you matters. Even Orin held on to pieces of herself as an emissary.
That's what the Drifter says. We all got North Stars. Speaking of, you can find the North Star from where you're standing. See it? That's the one. Polaris. You know, my father taught me to fly an old Duster as a boy. I was an aerial surveyor during, well, we often flew at night. Stars were important. My old man used to tell me, nations are built by service. Drilled that phrase. Now, I didn't want to kill anyone, but I could help get a clear view of a target, make sure it was the enemy, and help minimize collateral. Then my eyesight didn't hold. I washed out. I thought I had my whole career planned out, and then gone in a haze. I flew longer than I should have, finding my way there and home again by the stars as much as my instruments. I remember being worried the stars never looked the same from the ground, but you orient yourself right. There they are. Our crew used to joke that we were sighting targets for Orion's next hunt, guiding his arrows to the hearts of evil men. We thought we could make killing fair. I'm not that naive anymore. But as an emissary, I could still put a finger on the scale. A check. Sometimes that's all you can hope for in the world. To shift it just a bit in the right direction.
That's what I like to think we do with the light and the darkness. They're powerful, but it's who wields them that matters. Guardian, you have one new call.
The position of emissary is not a comfortable one. Hanging between, a mess of secondary colors caught in a minor key. The Nine need emissaries to understand humanity. Their subjective reality is fundamentally different from yours. Lodi is trapped in the present participle, becoming, transforming, beginning to hear the stretch of magnetic fields, learning to bear the touch of the Nine like acclimating to lightning strikes. The Nine don't understand plain, mauve disgust, how we react to the changes they put an emissary's body through. My choices and the pain they brought me are my own. I'm not Lodi. His pain, his choices, his changes, gerund again. He is wrestling with them. Have patience with him, now and in future.